Hello, everybody. Jessie Lucas here of Embodied Movement Training for another episode of Conscious Body Conversations. So if you've been following along, you know that this whole thing has been inspired by, what we've all kind of gone through in this past year and really looking for areas in health and wellness, ways that we can be proactive with our well-being and not feel so out of control or so stressed. And my angle is always from the movement realm and the functions of your body, but there are so many other beautiful ways that we can approach this deep kind of health and wellness and come from a place of what's possible instead of what's, what stresses are we buried under. So today I have holistic health coach Mary Ellen Zung, who has become a dear friend of mine over this past year and one of those sparkly lights on the path. She does a whole bunch in kind of nutritional health and that realm and some other really great, get your body healthy things. One of the things that has really inspired me about my recent conversations with Mary Ellen is this concept of hope. And not just hope, but then what can we do? What can you do if you're, feeling hopeless? Or what's that little sparkle of hope that you can then move forward? And it got me really interested in what's on the other side of that. So I'm going to leave it there and let Mary Ellen share with you the wisdom. Mary Ellen, thank you so much for being with us today. Take it away.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me, Jessie. So, this whole year, as you said, has been really challenging for many people. And I think as a health coach, I not only look at, nutrition and physical activity, but also mental health and, sleep and how we think about ourselves, what kinds of thoughts are guiding our behaviors. So, last year I became involved with my local hands-on philanthropy group with my chamber, and it was a great opportunity for me to work with a team, and we're called Team DStig to destigmatize mental illness, and that's really our mission. And so just been doing a lot around the mental health space. And this idea of hope, we hear, oh, I hope he's feeling okay, or I hope I don't get the coronavirus, or I hope my parents can get the vaccine, or I hope I can see my friends again, or we're feeling hopeless, right? This feeling of uncertainty is still here, right? When are we going back to work? Or when are we going to, not wear masks anymore? So there's, this feeling of hopelessness, or I hope. So hope is a feeling, but it can be, you can put hope into action with an intention. So if you're setting an intention of, okay, you might feel hope or you might feel hopelessness. So let's say you're feeling hope. Okay, where's the action? What are you going to put in your plan to make whatever you're hoping for happen? So there are definitely things in your control that you can do in your life. Just by the way you live your life, right? With that hope, yeah, with that feeling of hope, but with the intention of putting it into action. And on the other side, if you're feeling hopeless, right? Yeah, that also is a feeling. Feel that feeling of hopelessness, but know that that's not the end. You can still put hope into action, even though you feel hopeless. You can still do that, right? And it's the same kind of thing as when I teach people how to change your thoughts, right? The thoughts come in and you feel the truth of your thoughts, but you can change your thoughts by making a plan. and turn it around. So it's the same thing with hope. You can put hope can be a strategy, and you can put hope into action, right? So we're so, I think, desensitized to these mental health issues right now, because it's like, we walk past people with masks. We don't say hello anymore. We um you know I don't know if you're smiling under that mask. And it doesn't feel comfortable. It's not who we are as human beings. And so this whole desensitization of mental health too, like sort of feeling everybody's feeling, sort of down or sad. You have good days, you have bad days. It doesn't mean that you necessarily have to, see a doctor or a psychiatrist. You might just need some better self-care, or you might just need to set some boundaries for yourself. If you're working from home and you're in your PJs all day, you know, get up, work out, take a shower, get dressed, put on makeup, like create some structure for yourself that is more hopeful, and maybe a new normal that you can accept as part of your positive lifestyle. If you're working from home with other people, or if there's kids going, doing school at home, maybe setting boundaries around that, putting up a structure, learning how to say no, knowing what you need and being able to, say no, put boundaries around yourself, and also give yourself a break. Cut yourself a break. Things are different. People are not doing the same things that they were doing over a year ago. And we have to accept that to be safe. But what can give yourself a break. Don't beat yourself up for, oh, I don't work out as much, or, oh, I'm not, going out with friends or seeing friends, or, whatever it is. Cut yourself a break. These are hard times. So
You said a couple of things there that really, really stood out to me. I love that phrase, well, you put it, hope can be a strategy. I know I've heard it saying like, well, hope's not a strategy. When you just kind of connected some dots for me, saying, well, from hope, you can kind of derive an intention.
yeah.
From having derived, so if I say like, I hope I can go see my friends, or I hope I can try. Like for me, I've been thinking about travel a lot. We haven't traveled in a year, like I hope, well, if I derive an intention, what's the feeling I'm really looking to satisfy? What is, okay, if certain things are off the table right now, what's the intention within that? And then you went even step further and said, you make a plan. Because I was going to ask you, when you went into like from hope to what if you're feeling hopeless, and you said, well, you can still act from there. You can still have hope and act from there. And I love that just very simple, concrete, like hope to intention to plan. And even if you're feeling hopeless, you can still make a plan. And it sounds like from the way you described it, if you make the plan, it almost reverse engineers you back to waking hope up. And in that way, hope becomes a strategy, like,
Yes.
because you've created intention and action from it. And just instead of just saying, well, I hope so, and then leave it there. And even saying that now, like, oh, I hope so, that honestly sounds like I'm actually saying I feel hopeless if the
Right.
only thing I can do is hope. And that permission to, like, be gentle with yourself. I know one of the things I have had to do, because I'm realizing, so, if you're watching this, we are recording this in the second week of March 2021. So we're at that like year anniversary of, somewhere in either the last week or the coming week. Last year is when things radically started to change. And, for anything that has an anniversary, whether it's a birthday, an anniversary, an anniversary of a death, or, like when you come up on a year on something, it almost like brings it to life again. So I know I'm seeing it in conversations, I'm feeling it myself. People are going through this in a whole different way, I think, specifically because we are at a year. And I know for me, I'm an introvert homebody. Like if you look on the scale of introvert homebody and you go all the way to the end and then you go off that cliff, that's where you're going to find me. So the whole like staying home thing is fine. But like even me, I'm like realizing approaching this year, my mental health, I've had to in the last month or so really take care of it in a different way. And now you're putting context to kind of some of the stuff I've been going through. And one of the things, the best tools I have used was asking myself when something comes up, when it's an anxiety, when it's something I maybe don't feel hopeful about, I ask myself, what's most important right now? If I like, oh, I want to take my family, just, I'm in the Northeast. I'm craving warmth and sunshine, like breathing salt air, but with the dynamics of our family, we can't do it right now. So I said, what's most important right now? And I look for the feelings within that and make a plan. How can we create, with what we have, the feeling, satisfy those feelings. So I didn't even realize I was putting hope in action, but I think I was.
Yeah. And I love what you said about, what's important right now. And that is such a good question to ask yourself when you are feeling uneasy or uncertain, or not sure how to make a decision or which way to turn, or just feeling like, oh, I'm missing out on my vacation. You're just feeling bad about that. Um, so that's another way of just reframing, and putting hope into action, right? You're reframing what's important now, and then how do I be comfortable with that, because I've just decided this is the most important, being with my family, taking care of them, taking care of my mental health, their mental health, knowing that we will travel someday. How can we bring, you know what is it about the travel, is it, how can you bring that in, maybe, or maybe it's something else that you're looking for, traveling without traveling. Staycations, that was something, that people did a couple years ago. Or, how can we have a staycation? How can we have what I'm craving? Yeah, those are two different things, really. But asking yourself that question of, what's important now, which is mindfulness, right? That's staying present in the moment. That is a self-care strategy of, staying present and helping your mental health by knowing what's important. Yeah.
I'm really grateful that you are bringing up the mental health conversation in this way, because I think, a lot of times when we like turn towards looking at mental health, it gets scary. You're like, oh, I'm only looking at this because it's a little shaky up there right now, or, and I think it's important to normalize conversations like this, normalize saying, it is a little shaky up there right now, and also normalize like finding these sparkles, that hope in action feels like a really great strategy, actually, to take care of mental health that doesn't feel so looming and dooming and, hard and arduous. So I really appreciate your voice in this space and having this conversation. We hadn't had in the Conscious Body Conversation series, specifically a mental health conversation. So I really, really appreciate that. All right, sum up for us, some sort of like bullet point or takeaway or action step, or just what final message would you like to drop with us? And then I know, that you've brought this to the table as far as the ways that you serve. So also let us know where we can find you and find out more about what you're doing.
Yeah. So really, to sum it up, hope is a feeling, but we can redefine it as an action. Um, Create that intention, right? What is my intention? how can I put that into action? And, remember to create those boundaries, give yourself a break. So, all of those things, I guess, to sum it up. And people can find me and events that I do around mental health on either LinkedIn, Mary Ellen Zung, or my Facebook page, Health Coach Mary Ellen. Let's see, I have a website. It's maryellenzung.com. And those are pretty much, you can find me. Just Google me.
Also, and you have a pretty unique name, so you are findable. Thank you so much. You really, like I said, this feels so refreshing. I hope you guys watching and listening found some delight in this conversation. If you had an aha, please share it. We would love to hear, or your ideas, or what you're doing to turn hope into action. And let's make this year about that. Like that feels like a really good trajectory to go from. So thank you all for watching and participating, and we will be with you with another episode soon. Have a great day. Bye.
Thank you, Jessie.